Alright, what's up, my good peoples? What's up? My microphone is on. Let's check this audio before we get started. Make sure this audio is hitting how it's supposed to. Alright, yeah. Audio definitely busting. That's what I like. Alright, cool. So I just want to bring some stuff to y'all. I don't know how many of y'all keep up with certain things that goes on with like the government and stuff. So what I'm be in the building. What's up, B? What's going on, brother? I was just texting B for y'all that don't know. I was just texting. We was talking for a little minute. So y'all thought B was absent. B ain't go nowhere. He's still here. But I found a couple articles that I had found interesting, and the articles that I found are three different from three different publishers, but they all kind of go this in they kind of go hand in hand. And of course, this a survival game, so it goes perfect with what we always talk about anyway. So while I get everything set up real quick, but just prolong for a little second, and that'll help get some of the other people in here, and just in case if I end up cussing by accident on here, I met my little time marker before, cause I'm learning be when we jump out the gate cussing and stuff like that, they be trying to ban us. So we gotta let the time go just a little bit before you hear me you start cussing. Now, hopefully I can make it through without cussing on here, cause I'm changing over a different leaf, trying not to cuss cuss so much. No, I've been doing good. I've been doing good. But sometimes I get in my mode and it comes out. I'm human. It's natural. S- But oh yeah, bro. Hey, you know, and the thing with these articles, these articles came. Yeah. Gotta clean the language, bruh. Gotta clean the language. The best way to clean up your language and stuff like that is definitely reading. Reading helps you with your vocabulary. So I've been doing a lot more reading so that I can use different words and stuff like that, and not always use a cuss word for a replacement word, you know. So yeah, gotta change up the vocabulary. Gotta grow. That's part of growing. That's part of growing. Even though um profanity has been kind of, I wouldn't say brainwashed into our system, but kind of like adapted into our English language. We we still gotta watch what we say around each other, around kids and stuff like that, because we don't never know who's watching. And yeah, you know, we gotta do better. You know better, you do better. But so the first thing I wanted to bring to the forefront, and I found this. Put it down. Talking to my dog. I found this. I found this very interesting. Is facial recognition technology. Can AB? How does this look? Is this small on the screen? Because if it's too small, I can make it bigger. Let me know how this looks on the screen before I start, because I want y'all to be able to at least see it as well. But yeah, this article is facial is real small. Okay, all right. So this what I'm gonna do for this one for these articles. Let me let me put myself in the background, and then I'll take them down and pull them up as we go through. And if I gotta say something, I'll just bring myself back up. All right. So the first article we gonna be talking about is the facial recognition. All right. Let's do this right here. All right. How was that? That's a lot better. Let me know before I get started. It felt small to me. That's why I was that's why I asked, cuz I'm like, hold up. How was that? Is that better? All right, cool. B said that's better. All right. All right, cool. All right. So this is from Stacey Ann Brown. She wrote this article out. It says facial recognition technology is now in use for security screening at some of the nation's busiest airports, with TSA's pre-check touchless ID available at 15 locations, including Chicago, O'Hare, Dallas, Fort Worth, Denver, Detroit, Las Vegas, Atlanta, New York, New York's JFK, and LaGuardia, Los Angeles, Newark, Portland, Salt Lake City, San Francisco, Seattle, and Ronald Reagan Washington National. The system allows enrolled TSA pre-check travelers with valid passports to verify their identity with a quick photo instead of a physical ID. TSA says that images are deleted within 24 hours of a flight and are not used for law enforcement or surveillance. If biometric matching fails, passengers must present a physical ID, and those who opt out receive the same screening position. Now, I found I found this interesting because one, why if the person opt out, then you're gonna go with the regular background check. What would you need the facial recognition for if you wasn't looking into like criminal behaviors and stuff like that? Like why would you need a facial recognition? Because we all know facial, you can change the name but you can't change the face. we I it's funny I just thought about that and I just said that because I was watching was it Fast Six or something like that? I think it was Fast Six where they went to Brazil and this was when The Rock first got in there into that whole fast joint, and he was pulling up anybody who was known to be with Dom, and they ended up using the facial recognition. It's like, oh yeah, see, they can change their name, but they can't change their face. They had passports and stuff with fake names and stuff on it, and so although it's a movie, we all know they got fake IDs and stuff like that. That's a real thing, you know. It I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be hard to fake a passport if you knew what you was doing. I mean, they got counterfeit money that looks real, so I'm pretty sure it's not hard to fake a passport. It ain't like they put a black light on that joint or do something spectacular with it. They just look at it, oh, it looks legit, and then they stamp it. So what I'm saying is, why would you need facial recognition if you wasn't using it to do a criminal investigation on people? I'm not saying hold on one sec. I'm not saying like everybody in the airport they doing a mass criminal screening on it, but the people that come up there and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure they're tracking certain people. They using that to screen people and to see like, okay, what business do you have? What business you got going on? I need to see just to make sure that you're not wanted by Interpol or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they are using this. And we all know how they do. Oh no, we're not using that for this, but the whole time they are. Don't be surprised if somebody with a warrant or or somebody who ain't supposed to be going out of country or whatever goes and gets facial recognition, and they get arrested for trying to flee the country or something. It wouldn't be surprised. In the movie Enemy of the State, the government used facial recognition to track the main character. Exactly. Exactly. And that's my favorite. That's one of my favorite movies too. Enemy of the State. Heck yeah. Nah, you not lying about that one, B. That's a good point. You know, they definitely use facial recognition, and they use it on all different kind of devices. They use it on store cameras, street cameras, um, cell phones. They used it on all different types of stuff. But let's keep reading. CBP is also expanding its use of biometric process. This month, the agency launched enhanced passenger processing, EPP, enhanced passenger processing. Okay, at Nashville International Airport, which photographs travelers using auto capture technology. Why do they need? You see what I'm saying? Why do they need auto capturing technology? Before they reach an officer to confirm identity, check eligibility, and conduct enforcement screenings. Come on now. But if you just look up, if you look up just a little bit to the second to last sentence, TSA says images are deleted within 24 hours of flight and are not used for law enforcement or surveillance. But then you go down to the second paragraph, second sentence, it says it says uh which photographs travelers using auto capture technology before they reach an officer. That means they auto capturing you the moment you step in there and you put your luggage on that thing and you go get checked in and stuff like that. Before you even make it to that officer to check in and all that, bro, they already photographing you, auto capturing you, and they running your identity. They checking your eligibility, which what I was just saying, to make sure that you're able to fly, that you don't have any restrictions for flying, and conduct enforcement screening. So what's enforcement screening then? Enforcement screening would be what? Law enforcement, right? That's what I'm getting out of it. CBP says the system speeds up inspections for most travelers while allowing officers to focus on high risk passengers. man, man, high risk passenger. What's high risk passengers? High risk passengers could be anybody they deem, because when you going through TSA, it's this thing with TSA where they stop random people. You know what I'm saying? They just stop. You could be lucky. You could be lucky 100 within that hour. Okay, so far I've seen that I seen 99 people. Here come the 100th person. Okay, I'm gonna stop this person right here just to check his bags and stuff. So as you going through, you thinking everything's copacetic. They done put you on the high risk because you look like a high risk person. We're gonna put you on the high risk joint, and yeah, we're gonna focus on you. I'm saying, like, this is crazy, bro. This is what wouldn't this be wouldn't this be like violation of rights and stuff like that? I don't know, because you are in the airport, but I kind of feel like, I mean, I didn't sign no papers, or I didn't agree to a background check. Yeah, you feel what I'm saying? Like, you giving me a background check before I even make it to any officer. I feel like, you should have to sign a waiver. Okay, if y'all doing this, we gonna have you sign this when you get your tickets too. Like, yeah, we do automatic background checks, so just sign this waiver if you want to fly with our airport. That would be reasonable right there, because now I agree to a background check. But now you're giving me a background check just off your own free will. I don't think that's copacetic. Like, I don't think that's cool. You know, your own free will. All right. So CBP says the system speeds inspections for most travelers while allowing officers to focus on high risk passengers. And participation is optional. How first of all, how participation is optional when as soon as I walk in here, it says it says which photographs travelers using auto capture technology. So how is this participation optional? That means I could come. That means I could come to the airport with a full mask on. Because if that's the case, how you gonna check my identity then? I'm gonna have to take this mask off eventually. Once I get to the TSA agent, I'm gonna have to take it off so that you can verify that I'm the person with the passport. Unless you're just gonna let me go through with a full mask on, and then that defeats the purpose of TSA doing their job and checking your ID and checking your passport and all that. So participation is not optional. This is mandatory participation. In my eyes anyway. I mean I could be thrown. That's how this sounds like mandatory participation. Because if that's the case, when I buy my tickets, you will have a waiver there that says, "Look, you're gonna be auto captured once you hit our airport, and we're gonna do a background check on you. Sign this paper right here, just to acknowledge that when you get in our airports, we're gonna give you a background check." I mean, it says it on the screen. Don't take my word for it. It says on the screen. Read it for yourself. Critics have critics have long raised privacy concerns. In 2019, the Department of Homeland Security acknowledged that travelers' photos had been stolen in a breach involving a contractor's network. Jesus. The Washington Post reported TSA says its systems are encrypted, but lawmakers from both parties are seeking stricter protection. The Travelers Privacy Protection Act of 2025 will require affirmative consent before any biometric data is collected. Okay, so that means you are letting people know when they buy the ticket, or when they get there, you got a sign that says that got a sign says that you're being auto captured by our new technology. I mean, which one is it? Is collected. Bar passive surveillance and set deadlines for deleting stored images. It also calls for annual government accountability office reviews on accuracy and potential bias by race, age, and gender. By leveraging advanced technology and mobile applications, we are transforming inspections at airports to seamlessly touch process, enable faster risk identification, and efficient process of legitimate visitors. Boy, say that's a mouthful right there. That's a mouthful. The part that cat, the part that I that sticks out to me, right, and is gonna segue into the next topic is reviews on accuracy and potential bias by race, age, and gender. Okay, So just I want y'all to think about that part, right? Why would they have to put why would they have to put reviews on accuracy and potential bias by race, age, and gender? Why would they have to add that in there? Right? Is it because they're using this for another purpose other than what they're saying they're using it for? Because if they was just okay, so we know the airport has cameras. You know, we know that. But with auto capture technology, are they looking for a certain class of people? That's what I want to know. Are they looking for a certain class of people? Because if that's the case, you wouldn't have to say potential bias against race, age, and gender. What you buy what's the bias for? You saying like every time we get a Mexican person or a Spanish person who comes through, we're gonna give him we're gonna put him on the high risk passengers, or Pakistan person. Oh yeah, is he's on? He look like he's a Muslim. Is he going on the high risk side? Like these are the things that we gotta be careful of, because we don't know who they gonna deem or focus on being high risk passengers. And even what's up, Smitty in the building, and even with that, right? We I don't know if everybody's seen it, but Carnival had this Carnival had this thing that they're changing their policies after those black people was in there fighting over alleged chicken strips. You know what I'm saying? It's alleged that they was fighting over chicken strips on the Carnival ride. You know, and it's not the first time. It's not the first time they done cut up. And not the first time they done cut up on them Carnival rides. You know what I'm saying? Like I seen when me and my wife went to the Carnival ride on the cruise. You know, they had got locked up. When did the people get locked up for smoking on the elevator in there or something like that? Yeah, they got locked up for smoking in the elevator. And it was a fight on there, wasn't it? Yeah, and it was a fight on there. So are they saying that black people are high risk or higher risk? You know what I'm saying? So are they going to be monitoring more black people? Like these are the things that we got to be alarmed of when we start seeing stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? Although it's they in one sentence, in one paragraph, they say not used for law enforcement or surveillance. But then on the next paragraph, they say confirm identity, check eligibility, and conduct enforcement screening. You gotta be careful gotta be careful. I'm telling you, these people they playing a dangerous game. And see, you know what's even funnier, that this stuff is coming out, right? B said Deuteronomy is in effect. No cap, no cap. It's funny, it's funny, but it's not funny. But you know what I'm saying? No cap, B. You're definitely right. And salutes to Smitty in the building. Like Smitty said, like hit that like button on the way in where y'all come in, cause I'm actually giving y'all the topics and the news that they don't want us to see. You know, they want us to be focused on what's that boy Charlie? They want us to be focused on Charlie and is this a hate crime and is the left wing responsible, or you know they want to make it a left and right beef. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, they got us focused on everywhere except for the stuff that we should be focused on. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that we should be focused on, we're not focused on it because it's other things being put in play. Um, so hold on, let me pull this back up real quick because I don't want to. Okay, yeah, lose where I was at. So office reviews on accuracy and potential bias against race, age, and gender. I told you that's a segue. This is a segue to the next topic, right? So my next topic is this right here. It's hold on. No, not that one. That's too soon. We're gonna go to this one right here. Boom. Oh no. Hold on. That's not it either. Hold on. Oh no, that was it. Hold up. My fault. I didn't take it down. That's why. I'm like, hold up, what's the bow? This the one. Okay. So now that we're here, don't worry, I'm gonna make it bigger. I'm gonna make it bigger cause I didn't realize on my screen I can see it, but I didn't think about the viewers. Alright, let's make this bigger. Boom. Okay. So I brought this to B's attention and I brought this to Smitty's attention. B says soft deploy of facial recognition came when banks and the other services asked for our photo ID. Uh, uh, that hit different now. That hit different now. Ooh wee, dang, and the phone, and the phone. And the phone. You know, when the phone came out with the whole facial recognition and stuff and biometrics, you know what I'm saying? They saw, like you said, they softened us up for the big blow. You know what I'm saying? Before we and remember, B, this is what I was talking about. I'm glad you put that in there, not to get off topic and none, but just stay with us. You know what I'm saying? This what I was saying about the US Marshals being in Washington. You know what I'm saying? That's a soft version of martial law. You know, we ain't gonna just straight martial law this. We're gonna set them in there just to see how the people react to it, and depending on how the people react is how we know what's gonna happen when we actually go through with martial law. When we actually go through with deploying the troops. How many people's gonna buck the system? How many people's not gonna buck the system? You know what I'm saying? We already know white people gonna buck the system. They ain't with none of that. They gonna buck the system. But we know what areas that we can deploy in first. You know what I'm saying, and do what we gotta do because we know ain't too many black people finna stand on business. You know what I'm saying? Ain't too many of them finna stand on business, especially when it come down to law enforcement. We know how that goes. Uh, this is from I think this was the Washington Post that posted this, but it says the U.S. Supreme Court on Monday lifted a lower court's ban on immigration agents racially profiling of Latinos in Southern California, backing President Donald Trump's immigration crackdown. The order is temporary as the suit continues in lower courts, but it indicates a majority of the court is likely to side with Donald Trump's administration defense against against a compliant against a compliant that targeting Latinos and Spanish speaking workers for immigration enforcement violated the U.S. Constitution's Fourth Amendment that bars unreasonable search and seizures. The High Court ruled that the officers could use apprehend ethnicity. Uh, my bad. Apparent ethnicity as one factor in determining reasonable suspicion, as long as it's not the only factor. Well, first of all, that's the only factor. That's that's the only factor. What are you talking about? As long as it's not the only factor. Well, what factor is it? What other factor do you got? You know what I'm saying? What other factor do you got? Because because one one the whole point of racial profiling is to go against what you see, right? That's what I thought. I thought if I see a Chinese person and I'm doing a racial profile on this Chinese person, I'm gonna go after, okay, he speaks the language, he's yellow, he got chinky eyes and a block head, and he's only 5'6" to 5'8". So that's racial profiling, bro. What are we talking about here? See, this is why these things are so important to pay attention to. You know, they're not gonna put stuff like this on your mainstream news. You're not gonna get this article on your mainstream news. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not gonna put this on your TV and be like, "Oh yeah, well, Supreme Court just went ahead and lifted the ban on racial profiling, and now that ICE is out here just detaining people, they can detain you for looking like you're Mexican." They're not gonna put that on the news because that'll cause an uproar. So they put it in these little articles like this for the consumers to get to and read. We all know a lot of us don't like to read. This is why we're doing it this way and we don't have no videos, because a lot of us don't like to read. So a lot of us don't like to read, and this is why they made the Bible with the little play button on there so that the guy can read it to you. Well, this is what I'm doing. I'm gonna read it to you so that you can understand that, hey, if you fit the description, and we all know how they, hey, we know how that, hey, you fit the description. We know how that works. I'm just letting you know. The U.S. lifted the racial profiling joint, so if you fit the description, you might want to change some things up. That's all I'm saying. You might not want to fit the description because they got the right to apprehend you for fitting the description. FYI. Now, uh, apparent ethnicity as one factor determining reasonable suspicion. Reasonable suspicion. You feel me? Hey, if you look Spanish, if you look anything near like a Mexican or whatever, you're reasonable. It's a reasonable suspicion. as long as it's not the only factor. Rather, the officer has reasonable suspicion depends on the totality of the circumstances. Well, what's the circumstances? Don't be out there daggone selling oranges and look Mexican. That's all I'm saying. That's all. That's all I'm saying, bruh. Don't be out there with no roses in your hand, bruh. Don't be out there with no roses in your hand looking Mexican, bruh. I got reasonable suspicion then, bruh. You feel what I'm saying? Hey, don't be out there with the Team Jordans. Yeah, me some khakis and a button up shirt with one button at the top because that's reasonable suspicion. I'm telling you what the article said. That's what the article said. That ain't me. That's what the article says. Here those circumstances include that there is an extremely high number and percentage of illegal immigrants in the Los Angeles area. And those individuals tend to gather in certain locations to seek daily work. Home Depot, bruh, don't be at Home Depot looking Mexican, bruh. Yes, you going back. You going back. Don't be at Home Depot looking Mexican, bro. I'm just letting you know that now, bro. Just letting you know that now, bro. Chuck Taylors, exactly. Don't be wearing no Chuck Taylors with khakis. Yeah, me with a deck with a tank top on. Yeah, me. Hey, the Dickie suits. No more Dickie suits. No more Chuck Taylors. Yo, real talk, bruh. Real talk. Y'all gotta find new clothes now. You know what I'm saying? Okay. That those individuals tend to gather in certain locations to seek daily work. That those individuals often work in certain kind of job. Oh Jesus. Oh gee, don't be looking Mexican cutting grass. That's all I gotta say. Don't be looking Mexican cutting grass, bruh. Don't be looking Mexican doing no construction work. You know what I'm saying? Y'all better switch it up, bruh. Y'all better switch it up. Hey, all the jobs that black people tend to say I don't get paid enough to do this job. Don't be looking Mexican at them jobs, bruh. I'm just letting you know that now. You going down, bruh. You going down. And that's like 90% of jobs where black people be like, yeah, man, I don't get paid enough for this. So I'm just saying, don't don't be looking Mexican, bruh. Such as day labor. Look, I just said it. Landscaping, agriculture, and construction. I just said that. I just said it. I mean, don't take my word for it. Read it for yourself. That's why I'm reading it. Because we're reading together. You know what I'm saying? Let's just rewind that back real quick. You know what I mean? That those individuals tend to gather in certain locations to seek daily work. That those individuals often work in certain kind of jobs such as day labor, landscaping, agriculture, and construction that do not require paperwork and are therefore especially attractive to illegal immigrants. And that many of those illegal immigrants in the Los Angeles area come from Mexico and Central America and do not speak much English. I'm just saying, bruh. I'm just saying, bruh. So when we go back, let's just double back. Just double back real quick. Yeah, man. So when we doing this U.S. facial recognition joint, they say it's not used. It's not used for law enforcement or surveillance. But then doubles back. It says to confirm identity and check eligibility and conduct enforcement screening. Just know the airport ain't the only place they using this facial recognition at. Like B said earlier, state of emergency. I think that's what he. I think that's what B mentioned. State of emergency. What was it with Will Smith? Enemy of the state. So where I get state of emergency from? Enemy of the state with Will Smith. They use facial recognition to track old boy all across the daggone movies. Yeah, I mean to his house, to all types of different places. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just know these street lights is gonna start having facial recognition. I done seen. I think this was in Florida. I think this was in Florida. I seen a video where they was tapped into the highway cameras. And if you ever been to Florida, like they have these rows of cameras that go across the highway. Each lane has a camera. And as you're driving, the camera is monitoring you drive, and they're looking inside your vehicle to see if you're distracted, if you're eating, if you're drinking, whatever you're doing, if you're on the phone, whatever, and it identifies, oh, this person's on the phone, this person distracted driving, this person is drinking and driving. You know what I'm saying? So it monitors each driver on that highway. The highway could be doing 65 miles an hour. I can't remember what's the speed for Florida highway, but if a camera can catch you going 65 miles an hour and determine whether you're drinking, you're distracted, you're on the phone, guaranteed these street cameras have facial recognition. I think I did a video. I'm not sure. I think I did a video where the police was monitoring um a block, and the block was a potential drug dealing block, and they went through they went through the day's worth of traffic, and they highlighted in colors everybody that was walking across the street. So one was green, one was blue, one was red. I think it was only three colors: green, blue, and red. So the green means like they travel this path often. The red means that these people are going to the drug house. And then the blue means this is just a person like traveling through. So some people go through the block constantly but don't hit the drug house. They just like maybe it's a shortcut to the store or something like that. So they travel back and forth. So they was green. The people that's like one time maybe you'll see them one time walking through, that was blue. But then the red was the people that was actually going to the drug house. If they're able to do that, they're able to make facial recognition cameras that's gonna monitor you. Basically, is what I'm saying. They're gonna get your information. They're gonna run your face in the particular database, and see if you're wanted or have any felons, or if you're a person that is a terrorist or whatever. I'm just spitballing, but the point of the matter is that they're gonna have this feature. I'm 100% guaranteed. So anybody who thinks they're in the streets doing street activities and stuff, you're really not. You're really not. And it's gonna come down to a when and not if. It's gonna come down to a when and not if. Now, so now that we done talked about that, because I'm not gonna be here but probably like an hour and a half. Um, just brief. I'm gonna be here briefly. But now that we talked about that part, right? It leads me to my next joint. So now, and this is all in one day that I found this stuff. This is all one day's worth of work that I found. And I found it interesting. This is why I had to bring it to the forefront. Was because you know all the stuff that's going on with old boy. They like to distract us. Excuse me. They like to distract us with bull crap. So with all the stuff that's going on with old boy, this stuff is coming out. Nobody's really talking about. I felt as though I should share it. Excuse me. Now we got this one right here. Let's zoom this in a little bit. All right, boom. So I found this one very interesting. Like this one is as about as interesting as the airport joint. Remember I was saying with the airport, they was doing facial recognition and stuff like that. Okay, boom. Well, this right here, this comes from Forbes. This article is from Forbes. And it says, it's been some time since immigration and customer enforcement has been seen using a tool known as a stingray, or a cell site simulator, in its attempts to find and remove undocumented immigrants. The tool tricks a phone into thinking it's a cell tower, and when the suspect device connects, the cops can trace its location. Its use its use is controversial because anyone in the same area as the target is at risk of having their information exposed. Jesus. Did you just hear what I just said? Did you just hear what I just said? Let's double back. it's been it's been some time since immigration and custom enforcement has been seen using a tool known as a stingray, or a cell site simulator, in its attempts to find and remove undocumented immigrants. The tool tricks a phone into thinking it's a cell tower. Are you kidding me? And when the suspect's device connects, the cops can trace its location. Its use is controversial because anyone in the same area as the target is at risk of having their information exposed. Boy, they out here using fake towers. So you wonder why you hit certain locations and your bars drop, or stuff don't seem right, don't be working right on your phone. You could be on one of these cell site simulators. It says anyone in that particular location can be at risk of having their information exposed. That means crimes on the phone can no longer happen. You can't do crimes on the phone no more. No, ain't none of that. None of that. Like texting people and telling them, yeah, meet me at this location. Like, you gonna have to really come up with some encrypted conversations if you want to be safe out here in these streets, because your phone's at risk. You don't know what areas they have these cell site simulators. That's why I brought this to the forefront, because this is Forbes that's saying this. This ain't no back channel explore, or what's that other one with all the famous people be on there? I can't remember what it's called. Dang. Inquiry or something like that. I think it's something like that. It ain't one of those type magazines that's saying, you know, one of them art brand magazine. Ain't one of them. This is coming from Forbes, saying Homeland Security is using fake towers to track people phones. In a recently unsealed search warrant reviewed by Forbes, ICE used such such a cell site simulator in an attempt to track down an individual in Orem, Utah. The suspect has been ordered to leave the U.S. in 23, but is believed to still be in the country. Investigators learned last month that before going to Utah, he escaped prison in Venezuela, where he was serving a sentence for murder. According to the warrant, he's also suspected of being linked to gang activity in the country, investigators said. When the government got the target's number, they first got a warrant to get his location. However, the trace wasn't precise. It only told law enforcement that the target was somewhere in the area, covering about 30 blocks. That led them to asking the court for a Stingray type device to get an accurate location. Man, say, man, say. So you don't need find a phone. You don't need find a phone. You need to holler at ICE. To holler at ICE. Anytime you lose your phone, bro, holler at ICE, bro, because they gonna use all the technology to get that joint back, bro. Real talk. They done put you on a cell site simulator. That's what they call it. That's what they call it, bro. A cell site simulator that traces your phone's location and stuff, and break it down to an accurate location. Man, man, say, well, ain't no more privacy out here, bruh. Ain't no more privacy. You ain't got no privacy out here. know what I'm saying? Like when your phone get the tripping and stuff like that, yeah, your phone, like you out in the location and you riding and you wondering why your bars is jumping up and down and your messages is taking a little bit too long to be sent and stuff like that. Yeah, just go ahead and cut your phone off completely because because you could be on one of these cell site simulators where your information is being exposed across a broadband where everybody can get it, or you're being traced by Homeland Security. Who ain't no telling that police is using this. I'm pretty sure police gonna get their hands on this one right here. I'm pretty sure they gonna get their hands on this. Who Young Grump just did a video where he was on live. Shouts out to Grump, and he did a live with a dude. I guess he killed somebody. Don't get me to lie, but they was talking about how they traced his phone to all these different locations and stuff like that. So ain't no telling, bro. They probably got what they call a stingray type device that can accurately break down your location and all that stuff. I found this article very interesting. You know what I'm saying? Because one, we're talking about a cell phone tower that's not a cell phone tower. We're talking about a tower that tricks your phone, that tricks your phone to thinking that you're connecting to a tower for conversations and stuff like that. But the whole time you're on you're on Homeland Security's dummy tower, and they're running your data, they going through your information and all that stuff, and they running a basic background check on you. You know what I'm saying? Like this stuff is not, you're not signing papers saying that you want your background exposed. You want to do a background check. This is just happening. It's just happening. You know what I'm saying? Like we're doing this one way or the other. We rather you like it or not. And there's no telling that if your information do fall in their lap that they getting rid of it. There's no telling. They said they said on let's pull this down for 1 second. They said on the racial profile joint right here, they said TSA says the images are deleted within 24 hours of the flight and are not used for law enforcement or surveillance. How do we know? How do we know that they're being, cuz because one, I didn't vote, or I didn't agree to none of this. This is just something that y'all are doing. But now that it's getting exposed and it's getting talked about, now you're saying, "Oh no, we delete them in 24 hours." Well, first of all, why you gotta wait 24 hours to delete it? It doesn't take 24 hours to delete pictures. You take my picture, you do your scan to make sure you made I am who I say I am, and then you delete it. Why you gotta have it for 24 hours? So there's no telling if y'all really deleting them within 24. You know how many people go through the airports? You know how many people hit towers a day? It takes 24 hours to delete that. You can delete it the moment you took it. Oh yeah, your ID match your face and all that stuff. All right, cool. We're gonna go ahead and delete this. We verified that you ain't no criminal or stuff. We're gonna delete it. Why you gotta hold it for 24 hours? If you're holding them that long. You might be holding them longer than 24, might be 48, might be 72. You might delete some, but it be like, but it feel like, okay, this guy's high risk. We're gonna hold on to this. It's so many people that travel through the airports, bro. There's so many people that hit those so-called stingray towers or whatever the heck they call them. It's a lot of people that do that on an everyday basis. Are you? How long does it take you to delete their information out your system, or are you just collecting their information? Yeah, we worried about the wrong things. We worried. We worried about is old boy getting shot in the neck a conspiracy? Who 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 cares? Who cares? You're never gonna get the truth anyway. Never gonna get the truth anyway. So doesn't matter. We know that he got shot in the neck. We know he got assassinated. How do we move after that? How do we protect the ones that we love, or the people around us? How do we protect them from something like that happening to them? We can't take back what happened to him. A lot of us ain't even hear about old boy until he died. Reminds me of a rapper. For real. Reminds me of a rapper. A lot of people didn't even know Nipsey was that great until after he died. I'm just saying, there's nothing we can do about that. He's gone. Now we gotta tighten up because, as you can see, they're doing different plays and stuff like that, and they're not telling us about it. I haven't seen nobody else in mainstream media right now on YouTube, on these platforms, talking about what I just brought to y'all attention just now. I haven't seen nobody else talk about it. But I see everybody talking about a dude that got shot in his neck. We need to start making it make sense out here, people. We gotta start making it make sense. It's unfortunate old boy got shot. I don't know nothing about him until he got shot. He's basically a rapper. He's basically a rapper. You don't know nothing about these people until they get shot and they dead. And then next thing you know, we know everything about them. Like, they distracting us, bruh. They distracting us. They making plays happen behind our back. I mean that we're not even asking for. We nobody. I don't think nobody in their right mind right now knew that their face was being used that way at airports. You know what I'm saying? I don't think nobody knew that, because if they did, I feel like it should be an outrage. Let's just pull that up real quick. Let's just pull that up and just look at it. You know what I'm saying? Facial recognition technology is now used for security screening in some of the nation's busiest airports. They going what they call pre-check touchless ID, available in 15 locations so far. So far, just in 15 locations. Chicago O'Hare, Dallas Fort Worth, Denver, Detroit, Las Vegas, Atlanta, New York's JFK, LaGuardia, Los Angeles, Newark, Portland, Salt Lake City, San Francisco, Seattle, Ronald Reagan, Washington National. The system allows enrolled TSA pre-check travelers with valid passports to verify their identity with a quick photo instead of physical ID. Why? Why? Wouldn't it take the same time to show my passport than it would to take a quick photo or my ID? It should take the same. Soon as you getting up there, they tell you to have your ID and your passport ready. So shouldn't it take the same amount of time? TSA, the images are deleted within 24 hours of a flight and are not used for law enforcement or surveillance. If biometric matching fails, passengers must present a physical ID. So what's the purpose? What's the point of having it then? If I'm gonna have, if the system not working, and I'm gonna have to I can't do the touchless joint. I'm gonna have to have a physical ID anyway or a passport. So what's the purpose of even having it if you're not using it for law enforcement purposes? CBP is also expanding its use of biometric processing this month. The agency launched enhanced passenger processing at Nashville International Airport, which photographs travelers using auto capture technology before they reach an officer to confirm identity. Y'all, they doing that before they reach an officer to confirm identity. They already confirming your identity. Come on, man. Y'all better wake up out here. Confirm identity, check eligibility, and conduct enforcement screening. CBP says the system speeds inspections for most travelers while allowing officers to focus on higher risk passengers. And, and participation is optional. Does any of that I just read sound optional to y'all? Or does it sound mandatory? Critics have long raised privacy concerns. In 2019, the Department of Homeland Security acknowledged that travelers' photos must have been stolen in a breach involving a subcontractor's network. The Washington Post reported TSA says the systems are encrypted, but lawmakers from both parties are seeking stricter protections. The Travelers Policy Protection Act of 25 would require affirmative consent before any biometric data is collected, bar, bar passive surveillance, and set deadlines for deleting stored images. It also calls for an annual government accountability office reviews for accuracy and potential bias by race, age, and gender. Man, y'all better wake up, man. Y'all better wake up. Stop focusing on what they feeding you right then and there. Start doing some homework on some stuff. Start doing some homework on some stuff, bruh. They tracking your phones, auto face recognition. It had It's been some time since immigration and custom enforcement have been seen using a tool known as a stingray or a cell site simulator in its attempts to find and remove undocumented immigrants. The tool tricks a phone into thinking it's a cell tower, and when the suspect's device connects, the cops can trace its location. Its use is controversial because anybody in the same area as the target is at risk of having their information exposed. This is Forbes telling you this. This is Forbes. Let's pull up the next one before I get out of here. The U.S. Supreme Court on Monday lifted a lowest court ban on immigration agents. Racial profiling of Latinos in Southern California, backing Donald Trump's immigration crackdown. The order is temporary as the suit continues in lower courts, but it indicates a majority of the court is likely to side with Donald Trump's administration defense against a compliant a compliant and that targets Latino and Spanish speaking workers for immigration enforcement violated in the U.S. Constitution's Fourth Amendment that bars unreasonable search and seizures. The High Court ruled that the officers could use apparent ethnicity as one factor in determining reasonable suspicion, as long as it's not the only factor. Whether an officer has reasonable suspicion depends on the totality of circumstances. Justice Brent Kavanaugh, I think I don't quote me on that last name, wrote for the majority. Here, those circumstances include that there is an extreme high number of percentage of illegal immigrants in the Los Angeles area, that those individuals tend to gather in certain locations to seek daily work, that those individuals often work in certain kind of jobs such as day labor, landscape, agriculture, and construction, that do not require paperwork and therefore especially attractive to illegal immigrants, and that many of those illegals in the Los Angeles area come from New Mexico, Central America, and do not speak much English. Man, say it's getting spooky out here. It's spooky out here. Y'all better start moving different. I know that. People better start moving different. Stop getting caught up. Stop getting caught up in the bullcrap that they feed y'all to keep y'all debating and at odds against each other, and start realizing the plays that's being made out here in these streets, because there's plays being made whether y'all like it or not. But yeah, I just wanted to bring this news to y'all. I felt that this was important information, that wasn't being talked about and you probably won't see nobody else talking about this information. But that's what we do over here at the Survival Club. You know what I'm saying? This what we do. Survival Games podcast, bro. This is what we do, bro. We prep, we prep. We look at different news topics that's not being told, that they ain't just forcing in our face. You know what I'm saying? We look at all other type of things out here. We not just the surface level. We get deep, you know. So I kind of feel like the next one, the next live I do, I'm thinking about going over that zombie stuff that B sent me. B sent me this video on a whole bunch of stuff that was like, man, it's crazy. It got a lot to do with zombies and zombie apocalypse and stuff like that. I'm gonna do that on the next live. We're gonna go react to that video because that video was deep, and we need to be prepared for certain things. And that video that video was, it was real. It was real. But make sure y'all get y'all loadouts together. You know, you gonna need a firearm. That's a given. But you also gonna need something quiet. So start learning how to use machetes. Get you a bow and arrow. Get you a crossbow. Yeah, I mean, get you some stuff that's quiet that ain't gonna make a lot of noise. Because once the grid goes down, you don't want to be out there making a lot of noise. They're gonna be wondering what you got going on. So you gotta move. You gotta start moving strategic out here in these times. But we'll get to that video.